The lights dimmed, and silence filled the auditorium. The audience waited anxiously, their eyes fixed on the stage where a small, thin boy stepped out, holding an old guitar that looked almost bigger than him. His clothes were simple, worn from years of use, but his eyes carried something stronger than appearance, a quiet fire of determination. Nobody knew his name yet, but in the next few minutes, his voice would leave an unforgettable mark on everyone in that room. The judges glanced at one another, not expecting much from this fragile boy. One leaned closer to his microphone and asked gently, "What will you be singing today?" With a small smile and a voice barely above a whisper, the boy replied, "Hotel California." The audience chuckled softly. Some doubted. After all, this song was legendary, an anthem of generations. Could this poor boy really take on something so iconic? The music began. The first notes echoed through the hall. The boy closed his eyes, gripped the microphone, and sang the opening line. In that instant, the entire room froze. His voice wasn't ordinary. It wasn't just singing, it was storytelling. Every note carried pain, every word carried hope, and every pause felt like a lifetime of experience far beyond his young age. The judges leaned forward, their mouths slightly open in disbelief. They couldn't believe their ears. The boy's story was hidden inside the song. Raised in a poor neighborhood in the Philippines, he grew up hearing music in the streets, learning from anyone willing to teach. He didn't have fancy lessons or expensive instruments. His guitar had been gifted to him by a neighbor who saw his passion. Every night, while others slept, he sang quietly, dreaming that one day his voice would reach the world. But those dreams came with struggles. His family barely had enough to eat, and at times, he thought of giving up. Yet, something inside him always whispered, "Don't stop." As the boy reached the chorus, the audience erupted in cheers, but he kept singing with eyes closed, lost in his own world. His voice climbed higher, trembling with raw emotion. The judges exchanged glances, one had tears forming in her eyes, another simply shook his head in disbelief. This wasn't just an audition. This was magic being born on stage. But behind the magic was struggle. The boy's father had worked tirelessly as a fisherman, battling the sea day and night, yet often returning home with barely enough money for food. His mother comforted him with lullabies, teaching him that music was a gift that could never be taken away. Many nights, he sang to his little siblings so they could sleep through the hunger. That pain, that love, was now pouring out through every lyric of Hotel California. By the bridge of the song, the entire auditorium was on its feet. The crowd clapped along, some wiping away tears. Strangers held hands, united by the power of his voice. Even the technicians backstage stopped their work to watch, stunned at what they were hearing. This was no longer just a performance. It was a story of survival, hope, and dreams wrapped in music. When the final note rang out, the boy slowly opened his eyes. For a second, there was silence, a silence so powerful it was louder than thunder. Then, the room exploded. Cheers, applause, shouts of "Bravo" filled the air. The audience rose to their feet, giving him a standing ovation. The boy stood frozen, tears glistening in his eyes. He had never been applauded like this before. For him, even silence was normal, people too busy with their own lives to notice his talent. But now, the world noticed. One of the judges pressed the golden buzzer with trembling hands. In an instant, golden confetti rained from above, falling around the boy like a dream come true. He covered his face, overwhelmed, as the judges rushed to embrace him. "You don't just sing," one said, holding back tears. "You heal hearts." Another judge whispered, "I can't believe what I just heard. You turned Hotel California into something new, something that belongs to you." The boy's parents, watching from the side of the stage, wept openly. They had sacrificed so much, never sure if their son's dream would survive the harshness of reality. But in that moment, they saw that all the struggles, all the sleepless nights, all the prayers had finally brought him here. His father raised his hands to the sky, whispering thanks, while his mother clutched her chest, overwhelmed with pride. As the boy left the stage, the cameras followed him. Reporters would soon call him the voice of hope. The world would talk about the boy who sang Hotel California like no one else ever had. But for him, the true victory wasn't fame. It was knowing that his music had touched people, that his voice had carried his family's struggles and turned them into beauty. He had proven that dreams don't belong to the rich, or the powerful, or the lucky. Dreams belong to those who refuse to give up. The story of that night became more than a performance. It became a reminder. A reminder that no matter where you come from, no matter how heavy your burdens may be, your voice, your gift, has the power to change the world. And the boy who once sang quietly under the stars in his small town now stood under golden confetti, showing the world that sometimes, the most extraordinary voices come from the humblest of places.